joined now with Stephen Collette. Stephen, thanks so much for joining us today. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Stephen, actually, I know some people have been complaining that it hasn't been a super hot summer. I'm not complaining. I think it's been actually pretty great. We haven't turned our air conditioning at all this summer. So it's been a good one that way. But still, some people, this is still hot for some people. Like today's a pretty nice day. Mm-hmm. So when you're using air conditioning, we're outside of the house right now. You say that's a key component of protecting your house or making it cool. How so?
Well, running the air conditioner costs us a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. That's another reason we haven't turned it on. Love you, honey. Yeah.
So one way to think about where the air conditioner goes in the house is the sun and how it hits your house. We're on the south side of the house right here, so this side gets all the sun all day long. This would be the worst spot to put your air conditioner because your air conditioner is actually cooking. So it's fighting the really, really hot temperature trying to cool that air down. So it has to work harder, therefore costing you more money. It would be more apt and more appropriate to put an air conditioner if you have to install
So the air
one.
conditioner could physically heat up, which would cause it to
Yeah, it's a metal box. It's getting warmer, so it has to cool a hotter air now.
Interesting.
So if we were to hide it in the back, in the north side of a house, in the shade somewhere, we would reduce the energy consumption.
Okay, let's take a look at your house here. Let's take a walk around. So what do we have here that's done properly in terms of, do you even have air conditioning in this house here?
No,
okay.
We don't have air conditioning.
So what have you done here to make your house as cool and comfortable as possible?
Well, we're in the process of hopefully putting on a porch. Until that time we have, because this is south side, these two windows in the main living space, the kitchen living, they're really, really hot in the summer. So by having an awning, what we're doing is we're shading both these windows. We're keeping the sun out, so we're not overheating when we're getting that deep sun penetration into the house.
Should you invest in really decent blinds, Stephen?
Decent blinds inside can definitely help. Outside is always better. The farther we can keep that thermal impact away.
Really?
But if we can't do that, if you're renting or just those options aren't available, yeah, better, thicker, heavier blinds will make a difference.
Is there a specific type or fabric of blind that works best?
Darker and heavier.
Darker and heavier. Okay. So if I were building a house or looking at buying a house, which room do I want south? Which room do I want north? What's the best advice there?
Well, we want a lot of the public spaces, the kitchen, the living, the dining room, to be nice and warm and open. And we want lots of daylight when we're in those spaces. Bedrooms are bedtime. That's when we're in there. So we can have a nice view, but we don't need warm sunlight, especially east sun penetrating, cooking you first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Or if you want your kids to wake up in the morning early, put them on the east side.
Right.
Those sort of things. But awnings are really more important. They used to be really, really important in the pre-war, before we had air conditioning.
Right.
Awnings were on all buildings, all the windows. We can see some of them down at the south end of Peterborough. A lot of them still have those metal awnings, and that's because it was standard. That was the protection.
Let's give a quick little lesson before we take a break. East, south, and all of our directions that I think most people struggle with. Okay, so in the morning, the sun
rises in the east.
Rises in the east. Okay, people, get your compass.
So we need to know where our house is
Absolutely.
oriented. So if we know where the south side is, we know which side the sun's coming in the morning, we're getting some warm sunshine waking us up. As it moves across the south side, it's heating the house. By the time it gets to the west side, it's really cooking the house, and that afternoon sunshine can be really hot. So things like trees, shading. We have this tree over here, which is a big, huge southwest shading tree, so that really keeps our house cool in the afternoon. And we have a little bitty tree that came from Ecology Gardens that we put right in the front of the house, and soon that's going to...
And in 20 years, you're going to have great shade.
In 20 years, we're going to have great shade, exactly.
Patience, my friend, patience.